Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to try to do a walkthrough of the McGraw-Hill assignment for 5-2 practice problems. Alrighty, we have here, I'm going to try to write on the screen. We'll see how this goes. All right, our first problem is question number 1, and it gives us the function, turn on my pen, gives us the function y equals 2.5x minus 8. All right. Now, I don't have video on for this one because this pen program keeps messing with the video. It turns it on and off through the whole thing. It's very distracting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put negative 5 in for x. So that would give us y equals 2.5 times negative 5 minus 8. Okay, we're going to need to whip out the handy-dandy calculator. 2.5 times negative 5 is negative 12.5. So that gives us y equals negative 12.5 minus 8. And if you have negative 12.5 minus 8, that means we would get negative 20.5. So in this box, you would type 20.5. Negative. Sorry, put the negative in. Okay. All right, when we put 0 in, we would have y equals 2.5 times 0 minus 8. Well, we know what multiplying times 0 does. So in this case, y is going to be negative 8. So you type in negative 8. When we put 5 in, we would have y equals 2.5 times 5 minus 8. 2.5 times 5 is going to be 12.5. Minus 8, and that gives us 4.5. And lastly, when we put 10 in for x, we would have y equals 2.5 times 10 minus 8. Well, multiplying times 10 is going to move this decimal. So that's going to give us y equals 25 minus 8, and 25 minus 8 is 17. So when x is 10, y is 17. So you would do it like that. Okay. Alrighty. Next page. Next. Okay. Alrighty. This is question number 2. Very similar. You're just substituting for x and figuring out what y is equal to. We're using y equals negative 5x minus 1. Okay. I'm not going to do them all for you because that makes it too easy, but I'll give you the idea of what we're going to do here. I'm going to substitute these numbers for x. Negative 5 times negative 2 minus 1. Well, negative times a negative is a positive 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay. So you're going to go through and you're going to put in negative 1 for x, see what it's equal to. 0 for x, see what it's equal to. And 1 for x, see what it's equal to. Cursor. I got to clear away the writing. Okay. Number 3. Now they've done you a solid on this one because the numbers they have picked are evenly divisible by 2. So that works out well since you're multiplying your x times a half. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to have y equals 1/2 x plus 3. That's the equation you're using. These are the things you're going to put in for x. So y equals 1/2 times negative 2 plus 3. Well, what's half of negative 2? Negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So you put the answer here. Okay. Same thing when you put in a 2. 1/2 of positive 2 plus 3. Well, half of positive 2 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. This would be a 4. Then you would do half of 6 and half of 10 plus 3. Okay. Cursor. Next question. Clear the marks. Back to writing. Okay. Oh, this is a drop-down one, okay? A single-engine plane can travel up to 140 miles per hour. The total number of miles m is represented by the function m equals 140h, where h is the number of hours traveled. Let me go back to cursor. Determine appropriate input values for this situation. Okay, so we're talking about the total number of miles that this plane, first of all, you cannot travel negative miles, okay? All right, so we're going to go with positive rational or positive whole. You could go a fraction of a mile, couldn't you? You don't have to go a whole mile. So let's say we're going to go with positive rational numbers. It's going to be my choice. Makes sense for the input because you cannot fly negative hours. It does make sense to use fractional numbers because you can fly for part of an hour. Okay, and now we scroll down. Come on. We scroll down and now we have to complete the table. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take the equation m equals 140h and you're going to substitute these values for h. So if we're doing the first one together, we would have 140 times 1. Well, 140 times 1 is 140. So you would put 140 here. All right, then you would put 1.5, multiply 140 times 1.5. You would multiply 140 times 2 and 140 times 2.5. That's what you do for those. Okay. Question number 5. Create a function table for the function y equals negative 2x plus 1. So for this, you go y equals negative 2x plus 1. Our first x value is negative 2. So we go y equals negative 2 times negative 2 plus 1. Negative times a negative is a positive 4. So we get 5. So you would put 5 here. Okay, you would do that for each of these numbers. Now, we scroll down. If I can get hold of this little scroll bar. We're going to scroll down and we're going to graph it. So here our point was negative 2, 5. So we're going to come down and we're going to erase this. We want to put negative 2, 5. So negative 2, 5 would be our first point. Put a point there. And then our second point would be whatever we would have gotten for the second one. Let me go back up here and see what this looks like. Oh, come on. Let's go back up there. Negative 1 in that would have given us negative 1, 5. Negative 1 times negative 2 is, no, negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2, 2. This gives 3. So negative 1, 3. All right, so negative 1, 3 would have been the other point. And then you have your line. Okay? You don't have to graph the slope or anything. You just have to get the 2 points. Okay. Question number 6. A flower delivery service charges $39.95 per flower arrangement and $2.99 for delivery. The total cost, y, is represented by the function y equals 39.95x plus $2.99, where x is the number of flower arrangements. That makes sense because they charge $39.95 per arrangement, okay? And so you would multiply the number of arrangements times $39.95 and then add $2.99 for delivery. Which sets of numbers would be appropriate input values for this situation? Well, first of all, can you buy a part of a bouquet? No, you cannot. So whole numbers is good. Can you buy negative bouquet? Integers are negative numbers. No, you cannot buy negative bouquets. Rational numbers are fractions and decimals. Can you buy a fraction or a decimal of flower bouquets? No. Positive integers. Integers are whole numbers and their opposites, but because this says positive, it means only positive whole numbers. So that basically is whole numbers. Negative numbers, no, you cannot buy negative numbers. And only 0. Well, you can buy 0 bouquets. It wouldn't cost you anything, but that's not the only thing you can use. So there were only 2 correct answers to this one. Okay. Click. Question number 7. A baby giraffe is 6.5 feet tall at birth and grows 1/2 foot per month for its first year. The function 1/2 times m plus 6.5 represents the total height h of a baby giraffe for any number of months m within its first year. How much taller is the giraffe at the end of month 11 than at the end of month 2? Now, let's see. Go to pen. Okay, so we have our equation, h equals 1/2 m plus 6.5. All right, and the question is, how much taller is the giraffe at the end of month 11 than it was at the end of month 2? Okay, so let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to solve for m equals 2, and then we're going to solve for m equals 11, months equal 2, months equal 11, and then we're going to subtract to find out what the difference in height is. All right, so for 2, we would have height is equal to 1/2 times 2 plus 6.5. Well, half of 2 is 1. 1 plus 6.5 is 7.5. So the baby giraffe would be 7.5 feet tall after 2 months. How tall would he be after 11 months? Well, h equals 1/2 times 11. Ew, I don't like that. Plus 6.5. Well, half of 11 is 5.5. Plus 6.5 gives us 12 feet. So at the end of month 11, he is 12 feet tall. Well, the question asks, how much taller is he? Okay, well, we need to know what 12 feet minus 7.5 feet is. Well, 7, we took 7 away from 12, that would be 5, but we're taking an extra half, so that would leave us 4.5. You could have done that in a calculator. I think it would be safe to type this in as a decimal, 4.5. I'm sure that it would accept that. It does have the ability to do a halvesy, so you might be able to put in 4 1/2, but I think you're safer to go with the decimal in this case. Okay. Oh, I need to clear my writing, go back to cursor. I'm learning this, I'm getting it. Okay. A public swimming pool holds 250 gallons of water and is being drained at a rate of 200 gallons per minute. The function, right here, G equals negative 200 M plus 250,000 represents how many gallons remain in the pool G after any number of minutes M. How much more water remains after 5 minutes and 20 minutes? You're going to do the same thing that we did with the giraffe here. All right, they're saying after 5 minutes, M equals 5, and M equals 20. What will be the difference in these two answers? So you're going to take the equation, G equals negative 200 times 5 plus 250,000. All right, well, 5 times 200 is 1,000, so this would be negative 1,000 plus 250,000. Well, if you take 1,000 away from 250,000, you would have 249,000. So after 5 minutes, there would be 249,000 gallons in the pool. But after 20 minutes, we would have G, I have to keep wanting to write Y, negative 200 times 20 plus 250,000. Well, 200 times 20, that would be negative 4 with 3 zeros, negative 4,000 plus 250,000. And if you take 4,000 away from that, this would be 246,000. All right, it wants to know how much more water remains after 5 minutes and 20 minutes. They want to know how much bigger is this number than this number. Well, it's 3,000 bigger. So you would just type 3,000 in here, probably not with a comma, probably just 3 and 3 zeros. Okay, and so that brings us to the end. That's all there is. That's your practice assignment for this week. That should make it nice and easy for you to be successful. And if you have any questions, of course, you know how to get in touch with me. And have a great rest of your week.